Hello everyone, I am Zones, a player for Team Disaster and a writer for Tempestorm, and I'm really excited to share with you this upcoming card from Shadowverse's Omen of Storms expansion, Whorltusk Mammoth. So as we can see here, it's got a mammoth of a text box, so let's break down what it does. It's a gold card in Forestcraft, and its stat line is a 9 points play point 6/7. That is a pretty hefty cost, which fortunately, it has an ability where every time one of your followers evolves while it's in your hand, its cost will go down by 1, which is kind of like Skeleton Raider. So, on top of that, it's got a fanfare that hits every other follower in play for 6 damage, which will include your own followers. And, at the end of your turn, Whorltusk Mammoth will deal X damage to the opposing leader, where X is equal to the number of followers destroyed this turn, which, once again, yours or their followers. So, your opponent might be trying to dodge the damage you do by playing fewer followers. You can still play your own followers to kill them off. And due to its stat line, Whorltusk Mammoth will survive the fanfare from a second Whorltusk Mammoth, which means you can get double the Mammoth for double the damage. Alrighty, so we're going to probably play Evo cards with Whorltusk Mammoth because we don't want to pay more than like 4 or 5 play points for this beast. And in an Evo deck, the gold standard for damage is Grimnir, Voidrot, Wind. So we can work to try to play them together on the same turn. And they kind of have this synergistic effect where if your opponent tries to avoid playing a board, Grimnir is going to be more effective. There's a wide variety of cards available to Forestcraft to get extra Evos, especially multiple in one turn, and you can stockpile those cards to use them after drawing your Mammoth, right? So like Breezy Elf is a card, 3 play points, but puts a fairy that will evolve herself in your hand. So you can play Breezy Elf early and play the fairy later after you've drawn your Mammoth, and to help control the board later on. So on top of that, we have some packages that let us get Evos, right? So the Natura package in Forestcraft consists of Great Mother's Embrace and supporting cards like Lonely Beginnings, Natera's Future, Friendly Embrace, and Beastful Harvester. So this is a kind of a slower build of the deck because we're only getting 2 Evos per turn tops, but all of our cards are going to contribute to slowing the game down and letting us set up a Mammoth and Grimnir, and we're just going to draw through our deck when we play Great Mother's Embrace. So if that's a bit too slow for your taste, I have another idea here, which is the Fairy Wisp package using Sunbright Elf. Sunbright Elf can evolve all your Fairy Wisps when she evolves, right? So that can be up to 4 Evos in one turn. That's a huge amount. And we also play Arya Miasma Fairy in this deck. Arya is already like just a really strong card in the class, but the extra chip damage over the course of several turns, on top of the fact that you can destroy your own fairies to get their last words to trigger using Whorltusk Mammoth, adds a bit of synergy to running this powerful engine. I mean, you know, Arya plus Fairy Slugger just turns off a lot of aggro decks, as can be seen in Sekka decks in the current environment. So with that in mind, I'd overall give Whorltusk Mammoth a B rating. It's a huge evolutionary leap for Mammoth kind. I mean, a lot of them don't have abilities or have to be gods to have those abilities. And it offers a lot of payoff to Evo in Forestcraft, which hasn't really been around. The ability to destroy your own board for fun and profit is also pretty sweet. That hasn't been seen in the class for a long time either. But it should be noted that you're basically shoehorned into playing an Evo deck when you play this card, which is kind of unfortunate, and you do have to draw it before committing the bulk of your evolutions, so a little bit of draw order there. On top of that, you do lose some damage potential if your opponent plays around it correctly. So between all of that, it's a powerful card when set up, but it requires a lot to go right. So yeah, overall, I'm probably going to try to build some decks with this card, and let me know what you think. That's it for this card reveal. For more content, you can visit our website at tempestorm.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at bellzones with 1 L and 2 S's. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.